Ruben, thank you so much for joining us on the Sales Culture Podcast. I want to walk through the benefits and some of the things, and I got this big passion for people telling their stories and talking about things that really matter to them. I think everybody has a voice for a reason, and I'm getting to kind of know you a little bit. It's nice to kind of see what you guys are doing over at Dubb. But I want to lay out the 10 steps of starting an interview-based podcast.
Nice. Yeah, that's extremely exciting for me. It's definitely, I'm coming from a place of ignorance here, and I got to just first start out and just admit that. I've been enticed and really intrigued by the idea of a podcast. I've listened to a couple. I've tried to create them. I've never actually successfully done so. This is really one of my first experiences, so I'd love to learn how to create a podcast, distribute it, get some tracking, and then scale it up.
I mean, damn, dude, you already got like about 3 or 4 steps already kind of conquered. I mean, but honestly, if you don't mind just talking about Dubb for 2 seconds, because obviously you guys are making content over there. It's more video based, but if you can just press into that for a hot second.
Sure, yeah. Well, I think really 2 things. I think, Dubb first and foremost is a sales and marketing focused platform that really enables people to share videos, to get tracking, to drive revenue. So that's the first piece about us, but part of our marketing is creating content. We're creating content every single day: articles, blog posts, ebooks, webinars. We have a YouTube channel. Dubb app is our username on YouTube. But one of the things that we've realized is that we are in the long form video space, hardcore. We create 10-minute videos a lot, multiple times per week. And for some people, they don't have the opportunity to sit down with their mobile phone on, their laptop open, and actually watch us for 10 minutes. Now, all the information that we're giving, it's very vocal based, it's dialogue based. We're communicating just like this, and we're giving tips and tricks and best practices and frankly mistakes that we've made. So one of the things that we've realized is that we've got all this content that can be easily converted to audio format, but we've never actually converted it into a podcast. So I'd be interested to know if we can take long form YouTube videos and then actually convert those into podcasts so that we can have an audio medium as well, so that people can listen to us when they're driving and not get distracted with me on a skateboard in one of our videos.
Man, 1,000%, man. And one of the things that you dropped on me yesterday was this whole radical honesty, right? I think we talked about that for a couple seconds yesterday. And so let's just play this out as if we're getting Dubb set up with the podcast.
Okay.
Right? And one of the best parts about this, especially for guys that are in the B2B space, that podcasting to me has been more about what me and you are doing right now, and less about shooting something out to the masses. I'm more of a B2B guy. Like, all my things are really niched down. The people I'm trying to meet are within that realm of 5,000 to maybe 10,000 total market size. I don't have a lot of people that I'm trying to reach out to. That's a lot, but that's not crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to reach everyone, but I think from doing a B2B standpoint, having interview-based podcasts is one of the best ways to build authentic relationships with people. You get to talk to them about what things that matter to them. So you can literally build a podcast and let people come on and promote themselves, talk about whatever's important to them, and use that as a way to really ice break any relationships.
Well, see, that's another thing is, when I think of, I'm not intimidated by the technology. I'm a musician and I've got a lot of, tech of my own.
See, I didn't even know that piece about you.
Yeah, so I'm a drummer actually.
All right, cool, all right.
But I've got a lot of equipment random for like recording and obviously video equipment. So I'm not intimidated by the equipment component of it. What I'm intimidated by is the content. How do you develop a content calendar? What are the topics? Do I have to invite guests on for this podcast, or can it just be us? If it's a podcast of just us, is that just going to be too us focused? These are my questions.
Man, you know what? Great question. So let's just kind of walk through the actual steps right now. So step number 1, and to answer your question, yes and yes, you can make it totally about you guys. If you guys want to put out content, that's how you guys vibe, and that's the best, where you guys feel most confident and comfortable, then by all means, of course, make something that's going to resonate for your audience, and just strip the audio from what just from any of the videos that you're currently doing. But I honestly am a huge believer in the interview-based ones.
Yeah.
For the guys that are into doing the B2B, because it allows you to build a relationship with someone who you probably wouldn't have kind of had time to sit down with for 30 minutes and ask them about their family and just what's the motivation, all the rest of that good stuff. So I'll press into that piece of the puzzle if you don't mind. So step number 1, define your target audience. Just starts with literally you looking at whoever you're trying to do business with. That actual influencer in that market space doesn't have to be your direct customer. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. but define that target audience. So know where you want to kind of shoot that message, know where you want to send out that actual information. So for a couple of reasons, obviously. One is that you want to add value to them first. Define your target audience, know kind of what they're looking for, and then kind of craft the messaging around something that's going to be valuable for them. Step number 2 is name your podcast. Pretty simple there.
Okay.
And how I like to kind of look at doing the names is you look at your actual market that you want to, influence. So that's kind of one piece of the business. Me having like a sales and marketing background, I want to talk to sales and marketing people. And then also, talk to that person's title of that, within that market that you want to impact. And somewhere within that is that Venn diagram where your name probably would make the most sense. So when people search for your podcast, it's like sales culture was because I want to talk to salespeople that are impacting the actual workforce. So I want to talk to the actual chief of culture people, the people that are over the HR department, right? And how sales and marketing is actually transitioning that actual space. Because it's different. A lot of sales guys are working from home now. I mean, it's 2020. The whole workforce is looking a lot different. So that's why I chose sales culture. So, but for you,
and then where do people find your podcast? How do they find it?
You know what? So they can find it on all the major platforms. I also recommend that as well. Once you get to hosting it, you want to choose a hosting site where you can put it on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you believe most people are going to download. 70% of all podcasts are downloaded through Apple Podcasts. So you definitely want to make sure that you have an RSS feed set up so you can plug in.
And then you're going to teach us how to set that up.
100%, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
And the best part about it is that there's so many tools now that have come out. Like Anchor's one that's free. Have you ever used Anchor at all?
I have an account, but I've never gone through the process.
Okay, yeah. It's super simple. It's literally you just plug in a name, plug in your email address, and then you can just start recording out of your phone. Like no equipment needed. They do the hosting for you. Hosting's relatively cheap. Only cost me about $15 to use my hosting account. But between $10 to $20 is all you spend on hosting max. And that's if you're doing long form, Joe Rogan style, everyday stuff. So hosting is really, really cheap from that standpoint. But
okay.
Anchor makes it free. But step number 2, name your podcast. So start with that piece of it. That's really important. And have something that whenever people are looking in your space, they will somehow trip on your actual podcast name, because finding out different shows is kind of difficult. That's one of the challenges with podcasting is discovering new podcasts.
Okay. Right?
Because it doesn't have that natural flow yet of it having hashtags associated like Instagram pics, or it's not there isn't a good algorithm because nobody goes to one source for all the for all the podcasts. Well, Apple's the main one, but they don't open that up at all. It's a very closed circuit. They won't let you see any of those actual analytics. So there's like 200 different places to post it, and you want to have any hosting site that's going to allow you to get to all of them. So having a really good name is important.
Okay, cool.
Step number 3, design a logo and whatever templates you want around it. So I think you should have some basic logo work. You can get it done. Outsource that, Upwork or Fiverr, something simple, but just have something a basic template that will let you have a nice looking logo that's set for Apple settings, and I can give you all their actual pick dimensions. Yeah. All the actual specs right there in the whole show notes for you guys. But you want some artwork that you can just easily duplicate on a regular basis as you bring on guests. You can throw their face in that same looking artwork each time. So having those templates bid out, it's pretty easy stuff. You can have it outsourced too for less than $50. All right, step number 4. I'm speeding through these pretty quick, but basic equipment setup. I want to slow down for 2 seconds because you can go really hard into this, and you can get yourself one of the top of the line mics, like a Shure mic. The M7s are phenomenal mics. They're going to run you about $400. The ones that we're speaking on today cost $50. Found out about it through Tim Ferriss actually. And you know what? It's a quality mic. I just realized that your mic's off, man. That's awesome. It's all good. I don't think you say anything too crazy, but it's up now.
Yeah, that's the podcast life.
Podcast life, man.
How much of a metaphor is that my mic has been off this whole time in terms of how ignorant I am and inexperienced?
No, man. It's it's the beauty of trying to build content, right? Yesterday, whenever we were trying to do another video, we realized that we weren't fully recording, so it happens. But anyway, I literally spent for my total setup less than $500. I got a Zoom H6 cam that's right on the front.
And that's just an audio recorder? Or?
Audio recorder. It also has an actual mic at the top as well, so it catches all the sound from elsewhere. So we probably got your combo in there anyway.
Okay, cool.
But this one has like 4 channels on it. You can add up to 8 channels to it. But literally, starting with these AT 2005 mics, they have USB plugins, so you can plug in right to the laptop as well. So you don't. I'm just speaking on all this stuff because you don't have to throw tons of money into it to really be able to get a good podcast off the ground. And to me, it's one of the best things about podcasting is that it's kind of set up for anybody and everybody to kind of talk, you know? Like, it's so, like, you know, defragmented. Like, there's not a one place where you post. There's not, like, you know, any high barriers to entry here. It's like, just come on, and if you get shut down on one platform because you said something ridiculous, there's 199 other platforms for you to post on. It's kind of the wild, wild west.
But
right
Apple
now.
is 70% though.
Apple's
so don't get kicked off Apple.
Yeah, you don't want to lose Apple's lead, man.
Okay.
Step number 5, you got to figure out how you're going to promote your podcast. And simple stuff here, you want to get like a domain name that has your actual podcast name in it. So salesculture, .co is mine.
Salesculture.co.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. So you want to get whatever podcast name, own that. Any thoughts on your podcast name, Ruben? I mean, because think about the industry, think about the people that you want to target title-wise.
Yeah, I mean, our slogan is now video.
Okay.
But obviously we're transcending video, and video is really just a medium for us. Yeah, I'd have to think about it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, our YouTube show is called The Daily Dubb. So one of the things that we considered was, and Dubb means sort of a recording. That's slang for recording.
Yeah.
So one of the ideas is just to keep that name, The Daily Dubb, as sort of a podcast. So what are your thoughts on that, to have a YouTube channel called something and then the podcast is the same thing?
Man, you know what? So I launched off like 3 different podcasts, and I think one of the biggest mistakes I did was trying to come up with all these different names.
Yeah.
And I really wish that I would have just used one name for all my channels.
Got it.
Nonstop. Because then when people are searching, you know what, like search rankings, and you know about this stuff way more than I do. But I mean, when they plug it in, you'll be YouTube, then you'll be Instagram, then and so you'll populate all that, and you'll kind of own that space. So
nice.
I totally kind of recommend this kind of taking.
So there you go. I think you just named our
Daily Dubb podcast. Are you guys actually dropping daily videos?
Daily. I mean, not on Saturday and not on Sunday.
Of course. Yeah. You got to sleep at some point.
We got to sleep at some point. But we definitely put 7 videos out a week for sure. Definitely every single weekday. Yeah. I mean, did we put out? I actually don't know if we put one out today because we're at the conference. But I did for the conference. So
nice.
We're doing daily.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Daily Dubb, man.
So it's a variety thing. So
love it. So all right. So have your URL for the whole Daily Dubb. You guys probably already have that, I imagine.
Well, actually, we promote it to Dubb.com, which is our major URL. So yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah. So you guys already got one locked in.
Yeah.
Then after that, build your guest list. So then this comes back to like ABM type of marketing, where you have your ideal people that you want to get in front of, or people that you want to network with. Build out that list. I like a top 100.
Okay.
I mean, top 50 minimum. I mean, to at least people that you could reach out and say, hey, you're interested in doing an actual podcast about things that are going on in our space. And then, man, it's such an easy conversation to have with people of influence, because normally if they're creating content already, if they wrote a book, if they're doing blog posts, if they're on LinkedIn sharing content, they got something to say, and they want people to kind of hear it more, right?
Right.
So all you're going to do is be like an actual space for them, just for them to amplify that.
So when you reach out to 10 people and ask them to be on your podcast, what is your conversion rate?
Man, it's ridiculously high. I'm sitting easily always over 50%.
Wow.
Yeah, a response.
Do you get no's, or is it more like when I have time?
You know what? So no's just come back in the form of no response normally.
Okay.
I mean, so I can't think of it.
Which is not a no. That just means I'm busy and
not right now.
Yeah.
Or exactly. I'm busy. I'm doing other stuff, right? I mean, so I can't think of a time when I had direct. I'm not interested in that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I can't think of one off top. But I mean,
that's amazing.
But we get tons of, tell me more, and maybe that might not make sense for them because they say, not right now because we got some other stuff going on, or I don't want to talk about this at that moment. That happens. But the engagement's always over 50. If I send out to 10 real people that are like in my lane, and things that are happening, and they got a content that they're doing, those are normally knockdowns.
And how often are you recording podcasts?
So I try to do an interview weekly.
Okay.
I mean, and normally to kind of give you perfect next step is like have a good workflow. For step number 6, right? So we're at this actual podcasting, well, not podcasting conference, but a marketing conference.
Yeah.
I already did about 5 interviews, so I'm stockpiling interviews, right?
Nice.
Now I have enough for a good 5 weeks. So that's a really good way to kind of do it. I mean, I know a lot of guys have the workflow set up to where they only record on Mondays, and what they'll do is say, all right, Monday they'll do 5 hour-long conversations or 5 30-minute conversations, whatever makes sense for your actual audience, and then literally just knock them out back to back to back, and that's how they rock and roll.
Got it. So so if I have a Zoom webinar, let's just say, with someone, and I want to have that be our podcast. I don't have an opportunity to get the person physically next to me and have a fancy mic like this. What are your thoughts on that? Using a webinar platform to record the audio or some sort of a call-in service, and then to kind of pivot that into a podcast.
Man, we have a lot of our guys do it through Zoom.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Yeah. You know what? Zoom's a really easy way to kind of do it. Just have a call recorder.
Okay. You
can kind of strip the audio right from that, and then that's your podcast.
And then, do you recommend people to call in through cellular or to use the voice over IP?
You know what? That's a good question, man. So Anchor has it set up to where you can call in right now, or you can drop voice notes later. So let's say someone listens to your podcast and they want to send you a voice note. They can just click a link and they can drop you a voice note right through the phone, or they can call in, with their actual mics and kind of do it proper. But I mean, but yeah. So I haven't done the whole, I haven't done it where people just kind of call in to an actual show. I think the best way to, if you're doing a Ask Gary Vee type of thing, right? You have a speakerphone out, and then you just have your actual handy cam, and you just kind of record the audio as a call against an actual number. The ones that I like to do are through Zoom, and that's preset time. We're all right, me and Ruben are going to talk at 11. You log in, both of us log in. I hit record on actual Zoom cam, and then I just take the audio from that. Okay. Skype is another way to do it as well. Skype recorder, it's about $40, and it's a one-time purchase, so it's pretty low budget stuff that you can just have these done if you have it pre-set up. I think if you have a call-in show, that's cool as well. You just got to have a separate number, obviously, so you can kind of track everything recorded there. But yeah, I mean, having a really good workflow makes a lot of sense, and that's one of the ways that obviously you guys doing it with video. You guys know about this really well. It can take a lot of that headache out of what's the very next piece of content that's going to come out, right? So if you can say every Monday is my day I record, or I have a brand new guest every Monday, or you say, you know what, January's here, on every third week, I just go hard and just gather as much content, and then I'm good for February. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or I'm good for 2 months down the line, however you want to do that. But hands down, one of the things I'm really been impressed with, my shorter episodes do so much better than my episodes are 45 minutes. So even breaking them up into relevant pieces, so if we're talking now, I can literally have a segment about workflow that's 2 minutes, post that, and get a much higher response rate and engagement off of that than I would if we just did the whole 10-step process normally. Got it. Yeah. So just some thoughts.
Workflow, great info.
So step number 7, you got to talk about your backstory. Okay. So you have to have your origin story down, why you're doing it. I think that's episode 000, as I like to say. Kind of tap into yourself a little bit and dive into your own, reasons of why you want to have a show in the first place. Got it. I think that's important because my whole why for it was when I launched Sales Culture, I thought that every salesperson should literally be doing interview-based podcasts as opposed to showing up just trying to extract someone, extract the actual deal from someone. Give some value first by putting someone else on your platform, sharing them with your audience, talking about relevant content, and then have that mutual exchange. Got it. You know what I mean? That was my why when I first got into it, So I think it's important to have a why if you want to do something that you're up to. So, I know you guys are doing stuff at Dubb, but cool. Just to kind of think about the why.
That makes total sense, yeah.
Last couple steps, man. Step number 8, make sure you have an easy intro, easy outro. Okay. Plug that in, have a preset, throw it in at the front, throw it in at the back.
Got it. So maybe I'll try to do an intro. I'll do a mock intro here for us.
Let's go. Yeah.
Okay, so here we are on the Daily Dubb, and this is actually one of our first episodes. And here we are with Joe, who's going to be teaching us how to create a podcast from A to Z. So, Joe, if you want to intro it from your perspective.
Dude, that was an easy intro, man. Okay. I mean, because it should always be simple. It'll always be clean. Okay. And it should always be less than 15 seconds.
Okay, got it. Yeah. There it is. There was my intro. My first podcast intro.
Yeah, man. I mean, literally something I love Rich Roll's podcast. Okay. He talks about it where he'll throw a clip of the person speaking first, whatever the hot take was, he'll do like a quick 20-second clip, and it'll say that was blank, you know, and you're listening to the Rich Roll podcast.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Like a simple,
it.
dumb intro, so you don't have to think about it each and every time that you
Got
get on
it.
the mic. Simplifies it, you know.
Cool.
So anyway, all right, that's just 2 seconds. And then last 2 steps, literally create an actual ad for yourself.
Okay.
Just something that plugs your business, that makes sense. I mean, so obviously you guys will tie it right back to Dubb.
Yeah.
You know, you
You got to monetize it, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, or you at least want people to know why you're doing it. Like, hey,
Right.
you know, we got the whole daily Dubb, but check out Dubb for blank. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like Dubb is dope at whatever, you know? And go to the website. And just a quick little mid-roll plug.
Okay.
I would do a mid-roll or like a pre-roll. Pre-rolls get better, obviously, but doesn't mean people are listening. Mid-rolls are you get more quality. So
Okay.
I would throw in a link mid-roll somewhere.
Nice.
And yeah, I think it makes sense.
Pay the bills.
Pay the bills, bro. And then last and final step, man, get reviews, and get more reviews.
Okay, cool.
Then you're out, man. So like ask all your friends, ask family, email blast it out, let everybody know that you dropped your first episode, the 000 episode,
Okay.
with your backstory, and get the reviews out the gate.
Nice. Get reviews.
Dude, I just threw up on you. I feel like my caffeine is like just
That was
gargling, but
amazing.
hopefully it's
I
good,
feel
man.
so educated now. I just have to go actually do it because it's all about the execution.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. It is all about execution, man. But you know what? I think you guys got a cool ass platform. And I think,
Thank you.
I mean, you guys having a daily podcast or just stripping the audio from what you guys are already doing it's like a no-brainer for you, man.
Cool. We're on it. We'll
Cool.
send you the link. Be
Tom,
our
okay.
first subscriber.
Hey, man, I will be, man. Ruben, thanks again so much for your time, brother.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.
We're out.